Part 2. My mother-in-law said, no white at the wedding unless you're family. So, I made sure I qualified. After the ceremony ended, with our surprise signing of the marriage license right there on the altar, the guests were buzzing. Everyone was smiling, some were clapping, and my best friend was straight up sobbing. People thought it was bold, romantic, unexpected. The atmosphere was electric. Everyone except Linda. She sat completely frozen in the front row, with a tight smile pasted across her face like she'd just bitten into a lemon and had to pretend it was cake. Her precious only family wears white rule had just exploded in her face, and I didn't even need to wear white to do it. At the cocktail hour, Linda tried to save face. She floated around to guests, pouring fake warmth all over people. So beautiful, wasn't it? A surprise wedding within a wedding. How unique. But her tone was brittle, and her smile never reached her eyes. People could tell something was off. She finally pulled Jake aside near the bar, squeezing his arm just a little too tight, and said through gritted teeth, "What was that little stunt during the ceremony?" Jake, ever the composed king, just raised his eyebrows and said, "You mean our legal marriage? That was our real ceremony. You made it clear that only family wears white, so we made sure to become family before the party started." I stood beside him and added, "It's your rule, Linda. We just followed it." She looked like she wanted to scream, but we weren't in her living room. We weren't at a Linda-hosted baby shower. We were at our wedding, and the one thing she hates more than losing control is losing an audience, so she pivoted. "Well, it just would have been nice to have been informed. That wasn't very classy." Jake didn't skip a beat. Neither was creating a separate dress code behind our backs. Her mouth opened, and then closed. Checkmate. She backed off and retreated to a group of her friends, probably to vent about how kids these days have no respect, but the reception only got better from there. Here's where it gets really good. We'd given our photographer a heads up a few weeks earlier. We told her about Linda's white dress stunt, and she immediately got what was going on. She said, "Oh honey, don't worry. I've handled way worse MILs. Let me work my magic." So throughout the reception, anytime we gathered people for a family photo, the photographer gently guided Linda out of frame. "Let's do one with just immediate family, parents of the bride and groom." "Okay, now siblings only. Let's try one just with the wedding party." Linda kept hovering like a lost moth in a hurricane. She kept stepping into frame, only to be redirected with a smile. Eventually, she gave up and sulked at her table, stabbing at her C base while guests danced around her. To top it off, the next day the photographer sent us a private Google Drive with 2 folders, wedding highlights, the Linda Chronicles. Yep, the second folder was entirely unflattering candids of Linda, standing alone, glaring from the corner, arms crossed, jaw clenched, looking like a background character in a rom-com that gets dumped in Act 1. We didn't post them online, but we did print one for our scrapbook. It's a picture of me and Jake dancing while she watches from her table, looking like she's smelling spoiled milk. We titled the page, "The Moment She Realized I'm Family Now." Poetic, right? Since the wedding, something's shifted. Linda hasn't tried to pull any more power plays, no surprise emails, no dress code memos, no backhanded comments about traditions. She still makes the occasional passive-aggressive comment like, "Oh, I guess things are different now that you're legally family." But now she knows, if she wants to play games, she's not the only one holding the rulebook. Jake and I, we're stronger than ever. We joke that our actual wedding was 5 minutes long and fueled by spite, the perfect story to tell our kids someday. Because in the end, the best way to win is to let them think they're in charge, right up until you walk down the aisle and flip the script.